Hello, everybody. We have another visual pattern challenge for you. So here is a visual pattern. Here's step one, here's step two, here's step three. And the challenge here, if you choose to accept it, is to predict how many boxes in step number four. And then if you have success with that, you can try predicting how many in step 43. That's much more difficult. And see if you can write an equation that would predict any step number at all. So that's the challenge. If you want to try that, pause the video and see how you do. Okay, so in this pattern, we just have a bunch of purple boxes. It looks like they're getting bigger pretty quickly, but it's hard to tell just by looking at it what's going on. I'm seeing two here, and then it looks like, well, here's that original two. It looks like they added sort of around the border on the right and the bottom. And then, yeah, so here's that same pattern again, and then they added around the border on those two sides. Not sure I have a lot of intuition about exactly what kind of a pattern that's going to be when you just add around the border of two sides of a rectangle. But one way to approach it is to make a chart and look at the numbers. So we're going to do that. So I'm going to put the step number here, and we're going to put the number of boxes here. So in step one, we have 2 boxes. In step 2, that's 6. And in step 3, we've got, this is a 3 by 4, so 3, that's 12. Okay. If you did the last challenge, the one right before this one, this may be starting to look familiar. I think we can go ahead and predict step 4 just by using our visual intuition here. So we'd have this 3 by 4 box, and then we'd add another border on the right and the bottom. So let's do that. So we'll do a 3 by 4 box first. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3. So that's our 12 so far. And then we're going to add there and 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 there. So I've added 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 more. So that would be 20. Whoops, not 8, 20. Okay. Now, when you've got the numbers nicely laid out in a chart like this, the next step in trying to analyze a pattern is to look at the difference between the steps. So we'll do that. 6 minus 2 is 4, so that goes up by 4. 12 minus 6 is 6, so that goes up by 6. And 20 minus 12 is 8. When this number is of difference is the same, it's a linear pattern, it's not the same here. We've got 4 and then 6 and then 8, so it's increasing, it's going up by an increasing number every step. So when that's the case, what you want to try is taking the next set of differences. So 6 minus 4 is 2, 8 minus 6 is 2. Aha, now we're getting a constant number. So when you get that constant number in the second set of differences, the difference of the differences, you know there's an x squared going on. Okay, so what have we done so far? We've predicted how many in step 4, that's 20. And we know there's an x squared going on here somewhere. It's not the whole story, because if we just said y equals x squared, if we put it, and x would be the step number, if we put in 1, we'd get 1 as our answer, as the number of boxes. Y would equal 1 for step 1, and that's not the case. We've got 2. And in step 2, if we put in 2, then there should be 4 boxes, but there are 6 here. So there's something else going on. And I think what might be useful here is if we just went back to the pattern and visually marked out the x squared part of it. So x is our step number. So in step 1, it's 1 squared. So I'm just going to mark off the 1 squared part. And in step 2, 2 squared would be 4. So we'll mark off that. So that's 2 squared. And in step 3, it would be 3 squared. So that would be all of this. And now we can see more clearly what we have left over. So here's x squared in each of them. And what's left over, well, in the first step, it's 1. In the second step, it's 2. And in the third step, it's 3. So it's really just the step number that's left over that we have to add in here. And the step number is represented by x. So we could write this equation as y equals x squared plus x. So the step number squared and then the step number. So for example, in this one, it would be y equals 1 squared plus 1. That would equal 2. And in this one, it would be y equals 2 squared plus 2. 2 squared is 4 plus 2 is 6. That would equal 6. That's right. You can test that with steps 3 and 4 if you like, but I think we've got the equation. Y equals x squared plus x. Now, figuring out how many in step 43 becomes easy once you've got an equation. You're just going to plug in that step number for x. So 43 squared plus 43. So 43 squared, just going to verify this on my calculator, 1849 plus another 43 is going to be 1,892 boxes. And if you were trying to figure out how many in step 43 by drawing that out, I think your hand would get tired. So good thing we came up with this equation. Well, how did you do on that one? Did you get step 4? Did you get step 43? Let me know. Thanks, everybody.